who is behind the computer, selling or delivering a service. Payment is equal for everybody, and thus it is a powerful tool to reduce the pay gap between men and women. It's an open secret, though, that the technology sector struggles to attract women. Could the changing narrative be... Could the changing narrative... I'm so sorry, I lost my script. Just a second. Could the changing narrative be the way to get more women involved? Platform. May I now introduce to you Ms. Jahanvi Fukan, President Flow. Janvi Fukanji is an entrepreneur and co-founder of the 2 national award-winning travel companies in Northeast India, with over 3 decades of experience behind her, with Jungle Travels India and Assam Bengal Navigation Company under the JTI Group. Passionate about sustainability, Ms. Fukan's platform called Cognac was worked towards promoting the artisan and weavers of the region with its signature out of the Northeast India, curated collection since 2008. Tribal heritage was Ms. Fukan's vision to enable a sustainable livelihood to rural women by providing quality yarn and collecting their produce from their doorsteps through her brand of weavers since 2003. In 2014, Janvi ji set up her own loom next to her wildlife lodge in Diplu River Lodge in Kaziranga, known as Lahe. Janvi ji was conferred the Doctorate of Letters honoris causa by Assam Downtown University on 15th of June 2018 in recognition for her outstanding work and contribution to ecotourism and in effort for her women's causes. May I now request Janvi ji for her welcome address, please.
Thank you, Rashmi. A very good evening to all. Sangeeta Reddy, President Vicky, Ms. Harjinder Kaur Talwar, immediate past President Flo, Geetu Bansal, Business Facilitator, Government E-Marketplace, my Flo past presidents, my Flo chapter chairs, and my dear members. Today, let me start with a thought from Melinda Gates, of Melinda Gates Foundation. And I quote, "Investing in women means investing in the people who invest in everyone else." This underlies the basic principles that when women grow, economies grow. That women's economic empowerment helps boost productivity, leads to increased economic diversification and income equality, in addition to many other positive development outcomes. Today, we are all aware that the participation of women in business is recognized globally as fundamental to economic growth. For any business to grow, it needs to create a market, have sustainable means to deliver, and retain loyal customers. But today, in the new normal, the old methods of buying, selling, and production are all been disrupted. We are now forced to do the major part of our business on the internet. Our customers are moving online, so we sellers also have to move online. Just to mention here that the first e-commerce transaction was made in 1994. We believe there was a Phil Brandenburger who uses MasterCard to buy Sting's 4th solo album, The 10 Summoner's Tales, and he bought it via the internet for $12.48. This particular transaction made history and signaled to the world that the internet is open for e-commerce transactions. Why? Because it was the first time that encryption technology was used to enable an internet purchase. And then e-commerce has grown by leaps and bounds. The rise of e-commerce giants like Amazon and Alibaba in the mid-1990s has changed the face of the retail industry. They largely capitalized on the global internet penetration and the digitization of the financial system, which then contributed to the decline of many brick and mortar businesses. And this year, with COVID-19 upon us, it has become a force multiplier for the e-commerce industry. Our government too, besides the COVID time this year, has created that enabling and conducive environment and taken up the global e-marketplace for the government few years ago. And this has been a discussion we are going to have today, that they had created an enabling environment for women-led businesses. And with this, had given rise to the support of women entrepreneurs through access and through an increase in the share of the public procurement through the government women-led micro and small medium enterprises, the MSCs, in the past 2 years, which was created by GeM, Government E-Marketplace. Since then, the government had created a special provision for women, and they called it Womaniya, for onboarding women businesses. The government had mandated that 3% of all purchases in goods and services were taken from women vendors. Indeed, far-thinking and a laudable effort. And through this government's online marketplace for procuring goods from MSMEs, women MSMEs were for the first time to benefit. And they increased from 0 in financial year 2018. It started with a 0.25% growth in financial year 2020 so far. This is according to the data available in their monitoring portal. And the procurement from women MSCs was 0.15% worth some 231.50 crores, which benefited 1,398 women MSMEs in financial year 2019. There was 0.26% procurement worth of rupees 272.73 crores, benefiting 2,626 women MSMEs in financial year 2020 so far. In COVID times, this is the growth we are seeing. I'm very grateful to my chapter chair, Dharitri Patnaik, who for the first time was going to have Mr. Taleen Kumar, the CEO of GeM, for her chapter program to talk about the GeM e-marketplace. When I heard about it, I requested her that please let us make this a national initiative. And with that, we came to know that GeM had in fact had an MOU with FICCI some time ago, 2-3 years ago, but they haven't worked on it. And now when we spoke with them and got them to come on board with us, this was a win-win. With Flo, who initiated the first program with Mr. Taleen Kumar, CEO, with a very interesting talk that he gave us, he and his entire team. And that is how this idea of the workshop, to benefit all our members at Flow, and now to benefit all our members in Greater 50 under FICCI, has come to light. So this is the first association, the first workshop that we're going to hold. And it gives us great satisfaction that we are being able to bring to light the government's good motives in this, and for Flow to be the connecting force, to give the awareness within our membership and beyond of the possibilities and potential, and how to learn to become part of this mechanism and add to the value chain of goods and services being procured by women for our country. Our next step will be to start the process of onboarding artisans on the lower scale, out of our membership, and on a more wider range, maybe for the rural and very grassroots women artisans who need that help. That since we spoke with GeM about, they are very keen, and our next move is going to be towards that. So thank you all for being here, and let us make this possible. Let us give as many women that opportunity and that awareness building and the capacity building which will come from this. So now may I take the opportunity to felicitate Dr. Sangeeta Reddy for being here today to guide and to motivate us, and to welcome Geeta Bansal of GeM. And may I request my immediate past President Flo, Harjinder Kaur Talwar, to please join me in this felicitation. Thank you. This is for Dr. Sangeeta Reddy. Thank you for being here with us. And let us work together on this workshop for onboarding women entrepreneurs. Womaniya on the GeM platform. Thank you. Anshu, yes.
May I
Yes. Now, may I ask Rashmi to please take over the proceedings now?
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. May now invite Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, President FICCI, to address us. May I also have the honor of introducing her today to you. Again, Dr. Reddy is the global healthcare influencer. She's a healthcare technocrat, a social entrepreneur, 12th five-year plan. Planning Commission, Government of India. She's also the member of the Technology Development Board, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India.
Rashmi,
And
it's fine. It's fine.
Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
It is important, Sangeeta, that everyone knows about it.
Actually, ma'am, I agree.
As an individual, we are also proud to have you with us. That's why you're our mentor.
May I continue, ma'am?
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Rashmi.
Dr. Sangeeta Reddy is focused on setting benchmarks in futuristic healthcare projects enabling IoT or all data analytics, drone tech, and blockchain. One of our initiatives, Apollo Reach, aims to build a string of secondary care hospitals in rural India. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy is also chairman at Apollo Knowledge, an education initiative focused on
Yes, Rashmi.
and Apollo Med Skills. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy is also heads the Apollo's Philanthropy, an umbrella entity encompassing Save a Child's Heart initiative, Sahi Cure, and the Billion Hearts Beating Foundation and Total Health Foundation. Dr. Reddy, along with FICCI Flow, initiated the launch of the Empowering the Greater 50 initiative this summer to empower lives of women across the country. She has been the recipient of numerous prestigious awards for business and leadership in the healthcare industry. Over to you, ma'am.
So thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, Janvi. And thank you to the entire team at Flow for your warm reception, your complete positivity, and for enabling so much of, a wish or a passion to come alive at your great institution. It's a very big pleasure for me to be part of this important session today. You all will completely agree with me that women are a pivotal segment of Indian society. And I have said this before, and I will say this again, that the economic impact of gender equality in India is estimated to be $700 billion added to the GDP by 2025. So it is important for us. It is imperative for us to ensure that women have equal opportunity, and that itself can create a 4 to 7% uptick in the GDP growth. Throughout the COVID pandemic, we are hearing of lives who have been impacted, but livelihoods, of negative GDP growth, of our inability to come back to the pace that we need to create a $5 trillion economy, and more importantly, to create an employment generation which will sustain the youth of our country. It is therefore critical to us to use every lever possible to ensure GDP growth, inclusive growth, and women inclusivity is a very, very important aspect. My final statistics, because it's also estimated that women in entrepreneurship can generate 150 to 170 million jobs, which is more than 25% of the new jobs required for the entire working age population by 2030, which is what was shown in the Bain report and the Google report on women entrepreneurship. So all these significant numbers point us in the direction of saying we must ensure that women entrepreneurship is encouraged, and all of you are very much part of this movement. Greater 50 is focusing on it. It is critical for women like us who have had opportunity, education, who have been given so much in life to find ways to contribute towards this cause. And therefore, as you will see, I'm passionate about it. And I know many others are as well, Janvi, Hajinder, many other of the leaders. And I urge all of you to please join us, become a mentor for other women, help others, sign up for a program, assist one person grow one woman entrepreneur, grow their business. Whichever way you'd like to do this, Uma will, be able to send you more details of all the programs that we're doing. And I would really appreciate your joining, not the initiative, not the thing, but make this a movement, which is a transformational movement. Coming to today, which is a very important and significant topic, a Womaniya on GeM is something which I think can give a tremendous boost, because as you all know, the government is working significantly on ensuring, number one, the theme or the concept of Atmanirbhar, going on to vocal for local, encouraging the Indian manufacturing sector through various schemes, including the PLI. The GeM platform will enable, and also there is a significant so-called mandate to say that the government tenders, etc., should have an allocation, especially for the MSME and for women. So looking at this, this is the kind of boost that many businesses need to be able to bring out their growth to the next level. The Greater 50 in just a period of 5 months has been able to garner a really enthusiastic response from various quarters, whether it's women, corporate, government, small and medium business, boards, visionary. Everybody is really saying that this is something that we need. Now, for a concerted effort, we've created different subgroups like I spoke to you about, and I really invite all of you to please join them. I know that you will be hearing more about the GeM movement later, so I'm not going to talk about that. But in all the meetings we've had with the DPIIT and with the Ministry of Commerce, enabling and activating GeM has been one of the most powerful things that has been spoken about. And now Womaniya on GeM is going to further accelerate this and make this a movement which I think is very significant. As per our overall plan of the Greater 50, our aim is to positively impact over 1 lakh marginalized rural, peri-urban and urban women over a period of the next 3 years. Considering that in 5 months, we've already managed to cover more than 30,000, I'm very happy to say that I genuinely believe that the team is going to make sure we surpass this target. Now, every central department and PSU has set a target of 25% procurement from MSME. And as you all know, there's a sub-target of 4% out of the 25 will be earmarked for procurement for MSME owned by SC and ST entrepreneurs. And out of this 25%, a target of 3% has been earmarked for procurement from micro and small industry owned by women. So please register on the GeM platform and ensure that you open up prospects for yourself. If all of you believe this policy needs to be further tweaked to include larger organizations, if you believe the definition of small and micro is too restrictive, if you have specific use cases, we will continue to push. We've got it this far. The government has been very proactive. I'm very happy to reach out to Smriti Irani and ask her to put her might behind this so that we ask, number one, for a larger allocation. And so maybe we should at least up it to 7 to 8%. So let's start with this. All of you make sure that we use this 3%. Then we have the voice to say that we want to make it 7 to 8%. Parallelly, I would also say that we will, Uma, do a separate note to find a way to enhance the eligibility criteria. I'm sure all of you will find this session useful. I want to specifically thank the chapter chair who coordinated this program and enabled us to make this a national program. My special thanks to the experts from GeM for partnering with Vicky and Flo to conduct this program. I want to reiterate that the Greater 50 is not a one-off initiative, but it's a mission, it's a movement, and it's a genuine intent to make impact, to bring women into great mainstream society, not for women's sake, but for society's sake at large, for the country's sake, and for the sake of our future generation, because they must grow up in an inclusive world. So thank you for getting associated with the cause. I wish each and every one of you the very best in your business, in your homes, in your lives. Stay safe, COVID is still among us. Keep up your precautionary measures. Seek out any assistance that you need from FICCI or Flow, whether it's from COVID protocols to disruption in supply chain, to applying for PLI, to knowledge about process, procedure, to inputs on ease of doing business, to sectorial inputs. FICCI is a large and extensive body. The teams are available to support you along with Flow or supporting Flow. Either way, we are fine. We just want progress. And we want all of you to be happy and be able to live up to the fullest form and the fullest capability of yourself. So all the very best. Namaste and thank you so much for this opportunity. Special thanks, Uma, and of course, acknowledgement for the great work, Janvi and Harjinder. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now introduce to you Ms. Harjinder Kaur Talwar, our immediate past president of Flow and the MD and CEO of ComVision. She's also the co-chair for the Greater 50 initiative. She founded the company ComVision India Private Limited in 1995 with a very humble start. Today, ComVision is a certified medium-sized organization with about 150 plus employees and 4 offices. Having a computer science degree, and during her initial years in business, she took upon the challenge to change the way government services were given to citizens and gave a concept of multiple services of different government departments under one roof to India. Her first such project, Twins, implemented in Hyderabad in 1999, redefined the way government to citizens services were delivered. The model was thus replicated pan-India by many other government departments, and these government departments soon adopted the concept of integrated multiple service under one roof. With those words, over to you, ma'am, for your address.
Thank you, Rashmi, for this very nice introduction. I wish to acknowledge the presence of President Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Janvi Fukin, President Flow, my very dear friend. I also would like to acknowledge the presence of our 2 steering committee members who are present in this webinar from Greater 50. That's Renuka Shah and Kiran Gera. So with these words, and I would like to thank Gitu for organizing such a webinar which is required for women now, the GeM platform. And Gitu and all my members of Flow, all my friends, I would like to tell you here that I am a success story of providing and giving services to government. As a woman entrepreneur, I have started my work by delivering all my products to the government, and that's the success story. And I must say that if there was a time for the women empowerment and for the women to do business, this is the time. Where post-COVID, the government is really keen to have complete inclusiveness of women. And we believe that without this now, the economy cannot come back to the track. So I again reiterate that if there is a time for the women to do better and better, the time is now. Why I say so, there are multiple reasons to it. Post-COVID, the government of India has become one of the biggest buyer for industry in India. So once they become the biggest buyer, we obviously have a lot of opportunity to be supplying to them. Coupled with this, there are many schemes that the government has announced. Sangeeta has already spoken about them. Janvi has already spoken about them. So I will not repeat them. But I would like to add that one such scheme where they said that up to 200 crores worth of projects will only be procured from Make in India, Indian MSME, and there won't be any foreign participation allowed in that. I think that needs a salute from Indian Make in India and MSME sector from this country. Why? And especially from women. Why? Because the sector in which women of India run their business is more or less up to 200 crores. So it's a win-win opportunity for us. I think 90% of women entrepreneurs will definitely very clearly fit in this category. So I think this is one of the very good way forward by Government of India, and we must encash this opportunity. Two, this GeM portal, where 3% of the procurement is for sure to be taken from the government. My request to the officers who are present here is that this needs to be enforced in all the central government sectors and in all the state government sectors. There is a mandate available, yes, we agree. But how much of this is adhered to needs to be seen, because it is not that women are not there as suppliers, they are. But when it comes to conversion, can we really, when a contract is there of a value bigger than 3%, can we really ensure that at least 3% of that goes to a woman entrepreneur who is in the same field, so that next time she gets a better and better opportunity? So there are few things which we would like to definitely come and give you our inputs and give you our suggestions to make it better and more progressive for women, so that they become the bigger suppliers to government. And as I said, that without women inclusion, you cannot have an India which can recover this economic setback that has been caused by COVID. I think with these words, I'm really looking forward to this workshop. We were trying to do our best to do this over the years, but thanks to Janvi that this has been enabled, and thanks to the chairperson Bhubaneswar who has enabled this workshop. I'm really looking forward to this workshop. And with this, I congratulate you once again for enabling this, and I say more power to women empowerment. I've always been saying that one empowerment I seek for women is economic empowerment. She should be economically independent. And if she is economically independent, believe you me, there is no other empowerment which needs any, push from anybody else for her. She will herself manage other means of empowerment for her. So let us ensure that she is the one who doesn't spread her hand like this. She spreads her hand like this. She should always be giving. And the day we make the Indian woman like this, she will be the empowered woman. Today we have an initiative launched by UN, which says no violence against women anywhere in the world. And they have launched an international day to fight violence against women. And I think these international days are a very good way forward, because they generate public opinion when we launch our international day. This goes hand in hand with economic empowerment of women, and everything about women empowerment comes from economic empowerment of women. So with these words, thank you so much, Rashmi, and over back to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rashmi, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, your voice is breaking. Go on.
Sorry, ma'am. Would you like to talk about the movement that we've joined?
Not in this platform.
Okay, right. So just for the just because Harjinderji picked up this topic, I wanted to say that we have also started. We've joined the initiative today for 60 days of activism for making people aware about the violence against women, the fact that we condemn violence against women. May now take this opportunity and request first Janvi ma'am and Harjinder ma'am to felicitate our trainer for today, Geetu Bansal. IG, may I request you to please play the slide?
Memento for Geetu Bansal. Thank you, Geetu, for coming forward to enlighten us on this workshop on onboarding women entrepreneurs. Womaniya on the GeM platform. Thank you, Geetu. Thank you, Harjinder.
Thank you so much.
A little introduction to Geetu. Geetu Bansal holds a bachelor's in computer application from Vanasthali Vidyapeeth. She has a total experience of, she has a 13 plus years of experience and has been associated with GeM since 3 years and has trained and facilitated approximately 12,000 plus buyers and sellers combined. She's trained over 350 buyer departments from the state of Haryana, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Delhi, along with PSUs like IOCL, GAIL, ONGC, railway units, and defense organizations like DRDO, CRPF, SSB, IGBP, and BSF. She's taken capacity building sessions on GeM in major central ministries and PSUs and has been instrumental in onboarding a lot of buyers and sellers in GeM portal. Gitu?
Yeah, I'm here. Actually, your voice was breaking up, Rashmi, so I couldn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay, but good enough for me. All right, so shall we start the session now?
Yes, please, over to you for your delivery of the module.
Thank you so much. Let me quickly just share my screen. Okay, very good evening to all of you. So we'll start with the session right away since we're a little tight on time. The session today is majorly focused on how you can register yourself as a seller on GeM. So I'll start with a brief introduction of what it is, what would be the advantages of you being here, and then quickly get into the registration process. In case you have any question, I would recommend and suggest that you might put that across through the chat. So towards the end of the session, I'll go through the questions that you've asked or raised and then answer them one by one. Okay. So GeM was launched in year 2016 on 9th of August. It's a one-stop online procurement portal for all government buyers, which includes your central state ministries, your CPSUs, state PSUs, autonomous bodies and all. It was by amending rule number 149 of GFR that was made mandatory for all ministries and all departments to make their procurement of goods and services available on GeM through our portal. Basically, if something is available online on GeM, it has to be procured through GeM. The aim was to enhance efficiency, transparency, and inclusiveness in public procurement, and there are various tools available online like e-bidding, reverse auction, L1 purchase, direct purchase to ensure that the buyer or the government user get the best value for their money. Now, these are some of the key advantages of you signing up as a seller on GeM. A, it gives you direct access to all government departments. It's a one-stop shop for bids, reverse auctions on products and services. So if there's a bid out in the market from any buyer organization for your product or your category, you would get an invitation, a notification to participate. The pricing here is dynamic, so you have the option of changing the price also basis the market conditions. Anytime there's a new product category launched or made available in the marketplace, we do send across suggestions to the registered sellers. The dashboard that is provided to all users is very user friendly, and from there you can monitor your supplies, your payments, your product uploads, all of that you can do from there. There's a new on GeM section also from where you can see the list of new product categories that we keep on adding on regular basis. So in case there's a new category out there and you wish to maybe sell your product or upload your product, you would have the option to do so. Now, these are the available procurement options available in the marketplace. So for an amount up to 25,000, the buyer has the option of choosing any product from the market that matches their quality, quantity, and delivery period demand and purchase directly. For an amount between 25,000 to 5 lakhs, they still have the option of purchasing directly. However, they would need to first compare products from 3 different manufacturers, 3 different brands. The system then recommends an L1, which is the lowest priced item in that category, basis their specification, their requirement. If they go with system recommended L1, they get to purchase directly. If they choose any other product from the market, then the options available are either bid or reverse auction. Now, bidding or RA or reverse auction is mandatory for an amount over 5 lakh. So, any purchase above 5 lakh has to be done either by the process of bidding or raising or publishing a reverse auction bid. Uh, so these are the available options on GeM for one to procure. There are a couple of other filters available to the buyer to make the purchase more easy and streamlined. So that's basically related to buyers. I'm not getting into it. Now, to ensure good behavior and to reward good performance from the seller's side, we do have a seller rating system in place. The parameters that we look at while rating our sellers are as follows. The first one is coverage. So, if you deliver your product pan India, or you'd have a better weightage on coverage against someone who's only limited to maybe a state or a district. Then you have timely delivery. In case you default on your delivery on regular basis, it will impact your rating. Then there is quality of order fulfillment, which is calculated basis the rejection ratio of the consignment delivered. So if your product gets rejected on regular basis, or the rejection is higher, then again it will impact your rating. And then lastly, you have reliability. So if you cancel the orders that you receive, or maybe they get auto cancelled by the system because you did not accept it in the defined time, then again it will have an impact on your rating. Similar to how we've do ratings for seller, we have also classified our buyers basis their payment tendency. Somebody with more than 30 payments due for over 70 days post CRAC generation will be flagged as a red buyer. CRAC is Consignee Receipt and Acceptance Certificate. It's a document that they create online to acknowledge delivery and acceptance. The timeline for creation of CRAC is 10 days, within 10 days post delivery. So, in case somebody does not make a payment in next 70 days post CRAC generation, and the number of payments pending is over 30, then they'll be flagged as a red buyer. Then someone with more than 20 payments due over 70 days post CRAC generation will be flagged as orange. Less than 20 will be flagged as green. Now, this feature was introduced to help sellers in making informed decisions. Now, in case you receive an order from a red flag buyer and you reject this order considering that this person doesn't make payment on time, no action will be taken against you. It will not impact your rating. The buyer will not be able to raise an escalation against you for such scenario or such examples. So that's how we classify the buyers. We also have an incident management policy system in place. So any deviation pre or post contract has to be highlighted to us or has to be raised as an incident in the system. Uh, some examples of pre-contract deviation would be you see something in the marketplace, the pricing doesn't look right, either it's too high or too low, or maybe someone's using your product picture but the description is not yours, or anything that doesn't look right, any insanity in the price or maybe the specification or the picture or the description, you can highlight to us, you can raise to us by clicking on a report this product option that's available right next to the product listing. Some examples of post order deviations or post contract incidents would be you've supplied the product to the buyer, but they're not creating or raising a CRAC, or the CRAC has been created, but they're not making the payment. So you have the option of raising incident in such cases against the buyer. Similar to how you have the option of raising incident, the buyer also has the option of raising incident against you. Say you don't deliver in time, or the product delivered is not right, or maybe it is defective or damaged or not the right brand, or anything that's not working or not as per the contract, they can raise. Now, these deviations, I'll just give a little brief overview. They're divided into four categories basis their criticality. For each criticality, there's a plan of action and there's a timeline for action and a resolution. So initially, when you raise an incident, we expect both parties to mutually resolve the concern. In case it is not taken care of within the defined timeline, then you get the option to further escalate it to our admin team. Only when you escalate it to us, the GeM team gets involved. We send a show cause notice to the other party, which they have to respond to within 5-7 days, whatever the timeline is. Basis the response that we receive, we then take action as per policy. So the policy is available online also in case you want to see what it is and what are the various scenarios in which you can maybe raise an incident or an incident can be raised against you. What actions are we going to take? All of that is available in a document on our website under resources section. I do recommend that you go through this document for further details once you've registered and uploaded your product. Okay, so now we move on to the topic for today, which is registration on GeM as a seller or maybe a service provider. We'll first look at the prerequisites for registration on GeM. So there are two types of registration from a seller side that can happen. The first registration is of a primary user. Primary user would be the key person in your organization. So first he or she would register themselves, register your organization. Now, in case yours is a big organization and you wish to further delegate your responsibilities to maybe your partners or maybe your employees, then you have the option of creating secondary users. Secondary users, again, the primary user will create. We now see what are the prerequisites for both. So for primary user registration, either the Aadhaar number or the PAN of the user is required. This is for personal identification. In case the registration is via Aadhaar, then the mobile number linked with Aadhaar would be needed. In case the registration is through PAN, then any mobile number works. Then an active email ID could be your personal email address or your organizations or your domains, company domain email ID, anything works. Has to be an active one. Then you need to upload sometimes or provide details of documents as per your constitution type. For example, if you're a company, the system will ask for your SIN number. PAN number of your organization. Then, if you're registered with DPIIT as a startup, then you can provide details of your DIPP number. UAM number if you are an MSc registered with Udyog Aadhaar. ITR details of your organizations, etc., are needed for you to complete your profile. Then your address details, your registered address as per ITR filing, and then maybe also your billing address you would need to provide. Then bank account details for receiving payments for the orders that you've honored or completed successfully. You do have the option of providing multiple bank account details. One of these account would be your primary one, which you'd select when you create your account. Then for your secondary user registration, again, Aadhaar number or the PAN number of the user is required. Uh, Mobile Aadhaar number, if you provided, then mobile number linked with Aadhaar. If it is PAN, then any mobile number and an active email ID is needed for secondary user registration also. Hi, can you all please put yourself on mute? Someone's microphone is on. Okay. Few key points to remember when you register as a seller on GeM. First one, registration on GeM should be done by an authorized person of the organization, like the director or a key person or authorized signatory on ITR. Details of this authorized person will be validated as per ITR filing. So ideally, whoever is the authorized signatory of ITR for your organization will become the primary seller here. This is very important before you register. Please do verify who's the authorized signatory and then start the registration process. Primary seller has the option to create secondary sellers to assign roles like bid participation, creation of catalog, and order.
यानी सरकारी कंपनियों के लिए
Just one second.
अब ये जरूरी हो गया है
Just 1 second.
एमएसएमई के लिए मार्केट
So sorry. Just 1 second. Right. So primary seller has the option to create secondary sellers to assign roles like bid participation, creation of catalog, which is you uploading your product or your service, and order fulfillment. For MSE, that is micro and small enterprise, UAM number and Aadhaar and mobile number linked with same is required. So if you are an MSE, we do your validation with your UAM number and the mobile number linked with same. For startups, DIPP number and mobile numbers linked with same is required. Lastly, no separate registration required for seller and service provider, which means if you are going to be offering services as well as upload selling products, then you don't need to create two different accounts. One is enough. You can do both from the same account. So these are the prerequisites for you for your registration as a seller on GeM. We now see how you register yourself. Uh, for example, we are taking Aadhaar. So how we see how you register yourself as a seller using your Aadhaar. So you visit our website, which is gem.gov.in. At the top, there's a sign up option. You click on sign up and you choose seller from the drop down. When you do this, system will ask you to first and foremost review the terms and conditions of before you register of GeM.
Soy guapo, lo sé, las mujeres se calientan.
Okay, right. So please review the terms and conditions. Click on the tab. Then you click on the checkbox next to I have read and agree to the terms and conditions of government e-marketplace.
Ahora le dije que le iba a hackear todo, le voy a hackear toda la computadora, todos ustedes en este momento, todos ustedes serán hackeados, todos serán hackeados, hijos de puta, hijos de...
I think someone's hacked into it or what?
I don't know, there's some issue. Okay. Moving on. So once you review the terms and conditions, you need to then provide your organization details. So first you mention your organization type. If you're a proprietor, you choose proprietorship.
¡Cállese, señora! ¡Váyase a la mierda!
If you're a firm or a partnership, you choose option number 2. Company, trust, or society, or central or state government is also an option. So whichever is the relevant one, you select. Rashmi, can you put everybody on mute? Is there an option? Okay. So you choose your organization type and then you mention your organization name here. Click on next to proceed. It will then ask you to provide details to authenticate yourself using your Aadhaar or PAN. If you select Aadhaar, you'll have to provide your Aadhaar number and the mobile number that's linked with Aadhaar. In case you choose personal PAN, you'd need to provide your personal PAN number, the name as on your PAN, and your date of birth. So we are taking Aadhaar as an example here. You click on Aadhaar, provide the requested details, click on verify Aadhaar. An OTP will be sent to your mobile number. You mention the OTP here, you click on verify. You'll see that the first name and the last name of the user is auto-fetch from the Aadhaar database. Then you need to click on I confirm I'm the key person of the organization, which is a self-declaration that you are the authorized signatory on ITR. You click on the checkbox, then go click on next. Next, you need to provide your email ID. So you mention the email ID here, click on send OTP. An OTP goes out to your email now. Mention the OTP here, click on verify OTP. Your email also gets validated. Then you need to create a user ID and password for your account. User ID once created cannot be modified. Also, the password has to be minimum 8 characters, should include uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters, etc. These are your login details, so please remember them or make a note of it anywhere. You'll be required to enter these details every time you sign into your account. So you click provide your details, create a password, then you click on create account. Your basic registration is done. However, before you can go ahead and maybe upload your product or your service, you would first need to provide certain details of your organization, update your company profile before you can go ahead and upload product or maybe participate in a bid. So we now see how you update your organization profile. So as soon as you log into your account, the system will redirect you to your profile or your organization details page directly. First and foremost, you need to provide your company details. So first is your PAN validation. So here you need to provide your organization PAN details. So if you're a company, you provide your company's PAN number and the name as on your PAN. If you're a partnership, then your firm or your partnership details. Proprietors would obviously be providing their personal PAN details. So you provide the information, click on verify PAN. Again, it gets validated from the PAN database. If the details provided are correct and they match, then you see a green tick next to the PAN validation section. On the next page, you'd need to provide your date of incorporation. So for proprietors or partnership firms, you'd be providing the information manually. You choose the detail here. However, if you're a company, this is where you'd be asked to provide your SIN. Basis your SIN number, the validation would happen from MCA 21 database and the date of incorporation would be fetched from your CIN. So you provide the detail accordingly. Click on save. One thing to mention here, once you update your date of incorporation, it cannot be edited. So it will remain in the system as is. You proceed further, system will ask you if you're a startup. In case you're a startup with DIPP, you choose yes, or even if you're a self-declared startup, again, you'd need to choose yes. If not, you choose the other option. If you click on yes, it'll give you two options. One is registered with Startup India. So if you choose this one, you need to provide your DIPP number and mobile number linked with DIPP. This again gets validated from the server there, database there. In case you're not registered with Startup India, the system will give you the eligibility criteria. If you match this criteria, if you match the eligibility, you click on the self-declaration, you click on the checkbox next to I certify that I've read and meet the above mentioned eligibility criteria. For recognition as a self-declared non-DPIIT certified startup and agree to the same. So you do this, click on save. Next, it'll ask you if you're registered with MSME as a micro or a small enterprise. If you are, you click yes, provide the UM number and mobile number linked with UM. Again, it gets validated from the Aadhaar database, database. Now, next option here is if you wish to participate in bid. So like I said, there are two modes of procurement available. One is direct, so you receive the order directly from the buyer. The other one is by participating in bids or reverse auction, which is a mandate for an amount over 5 lakh. So if you only wish to receive direct purchase order, you choose no here. However, if you do wish to participate in bids or reverse auctions later on, then you need to select yes here. Choose the relevant options and click on save. You then need to update your office location. You need to update your registered address. Again, this gets validated from your ITR. So this should be exactly as it is mentioned on your ITR filing. It should the address should match to the T. For example, if there's any dot somewhere or any abbreviation you've used on your ITR, you please ensure you put it across here the same way. Also, this is where you need to update an alternate contact number and an additional email ID. The number that you mention here will be published on all GeM artifacts such as the contract or invoice, and this is where the buyer will communicate with you post contract generation. So you mention your alternate contact number and email ID. Also, if you wish to update your GSTIN number, this is where you'd be updating it. GSTIN updation is not mandatory. However, if you wish to receive order above 30 lakhs, you would need to mention the GSTIN number too. Once you've updated the registered address, this is also where you'd be updating your billing address. So from type of office, you click on the drop down and you choose billing address here and provide the requested details. Apart from your billing address and registered address, you do have the option of also updating your go down address or your manufacturing unit address. They are not mandatory. However, if you want them to be on the system, you can provide an update. Post updating your office location, your addresses, you can then go ahead and update your bank account details. So, like I said, you do have the option of updating multiple bank account details. Mention the IFSC code, the bank name, bank address, the system will fetch automatically. Then you provide your account number, mention the name of the account holder. For whichever account you want to be the primary one, you click on the checkbox next to is primary account and you click on save. Post this, you also have the option of updating your ITR details. Now, sorry, just one second. In case your date of incorporation is more than 24 months and you do not provide your ITR details, the system will not let you participate in bids. Also, your turnover will not reflect in the marketplace. So, for you to participate in bids or to also have your turnover reflect in the marketplace, it is required that you update your ITR details in case your organization is more than 24 months old. So what details you require would be mentioned here. You select the ITR type, the assessment year, mention the profit and gain from your business, sales and gross receipt of business. Where you can find this information will be available on the top. So exactly what part of your ITR, to what para and to what point uh, is it mentioned or available, you can find out. So after you update your tax assessment details and your profile information is 100%, so at the top you'd see the completion status. Once it is 100% completed, your other tabs like my actions, personal settings, and my team will get activated. This will only happen once your profile is 100% complete. So then you can move on to the other actions. The next one is if you go on my account, this is where you would be raising a request for vendor assessment. Vendor assessment is a process that's mandatory for all sellers, uh, except there are few exemptions. We'll talk about it as we move on. This is done by QCI and it's an independent process. So they validate information like your physical presence in the market, details of your turnover or the technical details of the product that you're trying to sell. All of that information is validated by them. Before you can upload your product or participate in bids, it is required that you go through the vendor assessment process. The next option here is change business organization type. So this is a one-time activity. It is only allowed once. So in case when you initially signed up, you were probably a proprietor and now you're moving into a partnership or maybe turning into a company. So you need to change your organization type here. Once you do this, you would again need to provide all your company details, your profile information as per your new organization type. So this is where you do this. You also have the option of closing your account permanently. So in case you do click on the close account option, once closed, you'll not be able to log in again. In addition, all the secondary sellers account will also be closed. This option is only available in case there has been no transaction, no activity on your account. Once you receive an order, you accept one, or you participate in a bid, this option will not be available to you. Then you have personal settings section. Here, basic detail of your profile will already be available as per the information you've provided already. You can change your password, your email, update your mobile number, etc. from this section. And then you have My Team. Under My Team, you have User List. From here, you can review the list of secondary users that you've created. If you wish to create or add another secondary user, you need to click on Add Secondary User, mention their email ID, select the roles that you wish to assign or align to this user. So, like, can participate in bid, can create catalog. Can create catalog is uploading the product or service. Can manage order fulfillment, which is accepting an order, creation of an invoice, etc. And can participate in purchase requisition, which is a soft bid option that's available online. So whatever roles that you choose here is all that this user would be able to do. So you have the option of maybe aligning one to one person, or you can align all four also. So however you assign and define the roles, that's what they'd be doing on the portal once they log in. So you click on Add User. An activation email goes out to them. They need to click on that email, verify their details like Aadhaar number, create a user ID and password. Once created, their account gets activated. So that's how they update their profile. One, just 1 second. So for your, like I mentioned during the My Action section, one important part of vendor validation is vendor assessment. So vendor validation, just one minute, right, is mandatory for all sellers. One part of this vendor validation is vendor assessment, which is mandatory for certain sellers. At present, this is done by QCI. This assessment is online. There's a fee involved which has to be paid directly to QCI. Once the application is completed and you make the payment, the seller will then be contacted by QCI for further proceeding. One assessment is valid for 3 years. However, if you wish to repeat the assessment even before the expiry of validity, you can. Certain categories of sellers are exempted from this process. Again, an application for exemption has to be made on the portal. How you do this? You log into your account, you go to your My Account section. Under My Actions, you have vendor assessment. You click on vendor assessment. Two options available here. One is creation to create a new assessment. The other tab is assessment exemption. So in case you do fall under the category of exempted sellers, you can raise a request by going to the other tab. The document for the policy document is available here. So I recommend and advise that you go through this document to see how this process works, uh, who all are exempted from this assessment process, what are the timelines, what would the charges be, all of that is mentioned here. Uh, so to, like I said, two tabs available here. So to create a new request, you click on create new assessment. Two options you see here now. One would be manufacturers or owned or OEM. The other option that you'd see would be of a reseller. So whichever category you fall under, you choose, and then you click on initiate vendor assessment. Next page is vendor profile, wherein information of your profile will be mentioned. This will be already be there as per the details that you've provided while updating your profile. In addition, you'll have to mention an additional phone number, mobile number, and an email ID. Click on save and proceed. On the next page, your bank account details will be mentioned, again auto fetched by the system. You click on proceed. On the next page, you will provide information for categories that you want assess. So uh, choose your offering type, product, mention your category or product name, a brief description of what it is, your production capacity per month, and then you upload the relevant documents. For example, if you're registering or you're getting this done as a manufacturer, then documents like your trademark certificate you would need to upload. In case you're a reseller, then the authorization from your OEM would be required here. You can upload. You can also provide the sold details as to who all you've sold this product to. For example, in case you sold it to some government organization, you can mention the details, the name of the ministry, the organization, the year, uh, the quantity that you sold, and what was the value. You do have the option of adding multiple product categories for assessment. Also, sold details, you have the option of adding multiple rows. You just need to click on add rows. So you do this, click on save and proceed. Again, financial details will be auto fetched by the system. Lastly, you click on proceed to pay. The final amount will be basis the number of product categories that you're trying to get verified or assessed, and the basic amount that has to be paid. You'd see the amount here inclusive of GST. Click on proceed to pay, make the payment, and your assessment will be complete. Sorry, your request will be initiated. After you apply for assessment, an email is sent to your registered email ID from gem.admin@qcin.org, detailing the process of assessment along.
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello. I'm able to see the static page categories since a long time. So is it only me, or are you showing the flow? I was not clear, so I thought I'll just check.
I am showing the flow. Is it happening for all, or you're all able to see where I am? I'm currently on create new assessment.
I think we're seeing your PPT screen, Geetu. That's
Yes.
what is because
Yeah.
we've not. Yeah.
Are you able to see the process
Create
moving?
news. Yes,
No.
yes.
Oh,
I am. I think
You
you
are?
are. Is it?
It-
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank
It's
you. Yeah.
probably your network.
Okay.
In
Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Maybe. Thank you.
refresh.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
No
Yeah.
problem.
No problem. Right. So after you apply for assessment, an email is sent to your registered email ID from gem.admin@qcin.org, detailing the process of assessment along with the link and login credentials to start. Please do check your email to initiate the process. Now, the other option available to you is requesting for assessment exemption. Again, it has to be created from the system only. So you go to the other tab, click on create exemption request. You see the available categories wherein you can request for an exemption. For example, if you're an NSIC registered MSc, you can choose that option and proceed further. If you are a central or state PSU or an MSc registered with DIC for a particular product categories whose credentials can be validated from their database, you can choose. Uh, so you select the relevant category and you click on request vendor assessment exemption. Here you see the list of exemptions that we have. For example, a seller with a turnover of 500 or crore or more, at least in one of the latest 3 years captured during registration, would be exempted. Central state PSUs. So there's a long list. Again, it is all mentioned in the document there, so I'm not going to read through all of them. You select the relevant one, you click on request vendor assessment exemption, upload relevant or supporting document. So in case there's a certification that you have which is under the exemption list, you can upload the certificate here. Click on save and proceed, and you then click on submit. Again, a request gets created. The ID will be mentioned on the screen. You can note down the ID for future reference. Uh, you can keep coming back here to check the status also. So if you see pass, that means you've been exempted from the assessment. In case the status is failed, that means you do not fall under the assessment exemption category and need to raise a request for new assessment. Now, once this request is raised, the vendor assessment will be assigned to QCI with a unique assessment number, and it will be visible in their panel also. QCI will then initiate the assessment by sending an email, like I said, and also detailing the process of assessment along with login credentials and update the status as pass and fail after completion as per the current process, and they'll be digitally sending the parameters of the report and a PDF link of the report to you as a seller. QCI will also verify those sellers who have applied for exemption and mark their status as pass or fail. in GeM through the vendor assessment panel. This report will then be consumed by GeM as per current process. So once you complete this process, an assess tag would be made available next to your product listing. If the buyer clicks on this assess tag, they can also see your assessment report. So it basically gives the prospective buyer the confidence that they're buying from someone whose credentials have been verified. Now, this process is carried out in two stages. The first one is desktop assessment. Information and document are submitted by the vendor, and if any discrepancy is found, then non-compliance would be raised. The next stage is video assessment. So, video assessment is conducted by an expert using a mobile based application through video calling. It will validate the entire process submitted by the vendor through documents in desktop assessment. Just one second. Right. So that's how the vendor assessment process works. Only once you complete this, your panel as an OEM or a reseller will be activated. You can then go ahead and upload your product, register your brand online, and then upload it, and then go on and participate in the bids out there in the market for your category. So that's all that I have from a PPT point of view. In case you have any question, you can ask. Let me also see the I see some questions in chat. Just I'll quickly go through the questions there. Okay. Question on seller rating. If seller doesn't receive orders, would the seller be tagged as a ghost seller or downgraded? No. Uh, so in case you don't receive an order that doesn't uh, downgrade you as a seller, you just have to stay active. You can maybe participate in bids. Just keep uh, your stock and your details updated on regular basis. Can a public charitable trust register oneself in GeM? Yes, you can. What is UM number? UM is Udyog Aadhaar Memorandum number. How can I get it? I have PAN and SIN number. So in case you need to connect with the MSME organization. So Aadhaar uh, Udyog Aadhaar is who you need to connect with. How the process works, you can figure out. There's a website for them. You can go to their website, see the process of registration. Once you're registered with them, identified as an MSE there, you can register here as an MSE with the unique Udyog Aadhaar number that they provide you. PAN. Do we enter the firm's PAN and our personal PAN too? Yes, both would be required. So when you register initially, your personal PAN number would be required for your identification. Now, two options available there. You can either provide your PAN number or Aadhaar number. If you choose to provide your Aadhaar number, then you don't need to update your personal PAN details. However, if the registration is with PAN, then you provide your personal PAN number, and when you later on update your profile, then that's where you would also need to provide your organization PAN details. What are the benefits of DIPP? So if you are a startup registered with DIPP, there are certain exemptions available to them, like an exemption on the turnover criteria or experience with government. So in case there's a bid out there in the market wherein the buyer has requested for maybe 2 years or 3 years of experience with government. However, they've decided to give exemption to startup, then you can take advantage of that exemption by uploading your DIPP certificate if asked for. Can we change the bid option later? Yes, you can. Can we change the option according to demand of product? So yeah, if you initially choose not to participate in bids and later on you change your mind for any reason, you can go back, update the details in your profile again. If you do choose to participate in bids and your organization is older than 24 months, then you would need to first update your ITR details. Date of incorporation, the day when your organization was set up, is what you need to provide. It could be basis maybe your partnership deed. Yeah, you can use that, or date of deed. So whenever it was maybe registered, that's what you provide. So GeM is for selling to government organization or even general end user. This is only for government buyers. So personal buying is not allowed on our platform. Only to government organization you can sell. Will you be able to share a link to this recording? I think it is being recorded. So Rashmi, I think would be able to provide. I'm not sure. Vendor assessment for services, how to quantify. So this vendor assessment process is only for products. If you are a service provider, then QCI takes care of the service sanitization as it is. They'd be validating the information. There's no charge for vendor this valid, oh sorry, service details verification. It is only for product that we have this vendor assessment process. QCI does it for free for services. Where is the field for women entrepreneur, or is it data captured from Aadhaar? So there is no specific field for you to register as a women entrepreneur for now. However, there are certain categories made available that has been created specifically keeping women entrepreneurs in mind. However, for your identification as a women entrepreneur, we do not have a separate system in place for now. How long does it take before procedure is done and one in is listed as seller? So uh, this registration doesn't take too long. So if you complete this in 15 minutes or half an hour, you're good to go. Vendor assessment is one process that can take time for for completion. I think the timeline is about 15 days for them to complete the assessment and share the report, post which you can upload your product. Again, multiple options there. If your brand's not registered and you raise a request for new brand creation, then that can take up to 10 to 15 days for brand creation. uh, in case all of it is in place and you upload your product, then for your product approval, 2 to 3 days it takes for the approval team to go through and validate. Are there any fixed or restricted product categories we can sell on GeM? There are certain categories that has been, like I said, has been created keeping women entrepreneurs in mind. So if you go to our website and access the Womaniya section, I have the link here. I'll share it with you. You'll see those categories. Just one second. I'll just share the link here. Just one second. Right, so some categories like handicrafts, accessories, home decor, and furnishing, they've all been created specifically for women entrepreneurs. I'll just share the link. That's the link for Womaniya page. Right. So any other question? So I'm open to questions. If anyone has any other question here, please feel free to ask. Okay. If not, then thank you so much for your time. In case you face any issue or you're unable to register or you need further help, our help desk detail are available online. I'm also sharing my number here. In case I don't answer, you can leave me a text. Now, if your query is as to how the process is going to work, I'll be able to help. However, if it is something of technical nature, then I'll be guiding you to who you need to connect with. That's my number there. My name is Geetu. So if needed, you can contact me. Okay, then that's all that I have. Thank you so much. Back to you, Rashmi.
Rashmi? That was very useful, Geetu. Thank you. I think we're having a problem with Rashmi's connection.
Okay. No problem, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I hope we do more of such sessions once we have all of you, all the users online, then we can maybe move on to the next one as to how to upload the product and all of that.
Right. So Rashmi is on call here and so is the FICCI team. So connecting in case our members will of course have many more questions, which we will try to pass them on to you and keep this flow going. I think we have Uma, will you try to reach Rashmi?
Hello.
Rashmi.
Sorry.
Your turn now.
Yes, ma'am. Geetu, could you also take the questions that are there in the chat box?
That's what I did. We've already covered that.
Right. Lovely. So in case we don't have any questions, can we call it a day? Participants, anything else that you'd want to know from Geetu? Ma'am, a small word of thanks because I think we've ran out of, you know.
I'm sure whatever queries come, you'll be there as via media. I know our members, please reach out and ask whatever questions you have. We will try our best to answer them with Geetu's cooperation. So who's giving the vote of thanks? Do we have that?
Not really. I was expecting that, probably you or President Ma'am might not be around for, till the end. So I had left that vacant. So now that you're there, I will just propose a word of thanks for Geetu Ma'am. And anyways, we have to continue this process for more members and for artisans. So this is just a beginning.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. And look forward more power to Flo and to FICCI. And let's work together, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, GeM.
Great. A good evening to all of you. Bye.
Thank you. Geetu, there is a request for your mail ID on the chat box. If you could share, I'm sure there'll be people to connect with you.
Yep, sent across.
Lovely. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. President Flo, Janvi Fukan, President Vicky, Sangeeta Reddy. I can't see Harjinder ji, but yes, Harjinder ji, my colleagues from FICCI, our Flow fraternity.
With you here.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Rashmi, I just wanted to point out what I see in the chat now.
Yes, ma'am.
That the Geeta Srinivasan has thanked Vicky and Vicky. There is no Vicky here. It's only Vicky and Flo.
Yep, I know. Vicky is a competition. Yes, correct.
And Flo, women's wing of Vicky. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.